Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. June 7, 2019, the Bring Out Your Dead edition. First up, good news for OSI Systems, as the Department of Justice and Securities and Exchange Commission have informed the company that they have closed their respective investigations into possible violations of the FCPA by the company. The company had been accused by a prominent short seller of engaging in FCPA violations in the country of Albania. So good news for OSI. Unfortunately, we don't know the reasons for the dropping of the investigations. Next up from Reuters, the Securities and Exchange Commission is investigating Siemens, Philips NV, and General Electric Company for allegedly using local middlemen to negotiate bribes with Chinese government officials and hospital officials to sell medical equipment, two sources have told Reuters. The investigations into the company's business practices in China, along with an existing probe into their sales in Brazil, are part of a new effort by U.S. regulators to crack down on corruption in the sales of costly medical equipment worldwide. The SEC, of course, declined comment. So this is one that we're just going to have to continue to watch going forward. Next up, the recent settlement by JPMorgan Chase of $5 million to settle a class action lawsuit filed on behalf of male employees who argued that they did not receive the same access to parental leave as new mothers has really shaken the corporate world. Many human resources consultants and departments are literally having the phone ring off the hook based upon this settlement. The size and scope of the settlement, combined with the reach of the ACLU, has brought a lot of attention to this. So it's going to be interesting to see if companies will actually follow the law and allow husbands and fathers to have parental leave as is given to women after childbirth. And finally, Bring Out Your Dead. For those who are not aware, that reference, of course, is to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And it would seem an appropriate reference for an article in the Wall Street Journal that Fiat's U.S. sales chief has filed a whistleblower lawsuit against the company. The whistleblower, Reed Bigland, alleges that Fiat Chrysler docked his pay some 90% after he cooperated with the government. He was a longtime Chrysler executive who assumed the U.S. sales role in 2011, and he still works for the company, rather amazingly enough. So a pretty high-profile whistleblower case. It's unclear, I guess under digital realty, it really doesn't matter if he alleges that he was fired for talking to the regulators. That's going to be pretty good indicia of Dodd-Frank protection that he actually went to the regulator. So hopefully that won't cause him to be thrown out on the technicality that digital realty used against its whistleblower. So we're going to keep an eye on that one. And that's something that every compliance officer needs to be aware of. And if you are going to terminate a whistleblower, you have to terminate them with cognizable data before the whistleblowing event. Finally, it is here, my latest podcast offering, Trekking Through Compliance, an exploration of compliance through the lens of Star Trek, the original series. This is something I've wanted to do for some time, and with the help of the creative team at One Stone Creative, we're going to put together a great podcast series for you where I take a look at each episode of the original series of Star Trek and provide you 3 compliance lessons. I know you will enjoy it. It will appear daily. All of this is a part of the Compliance Podcast Network and now a member of C-Suite Radio.